more familiar faces and new faces. I was meditating. I said, what on earth am I going to talk about today? You don't know how much pressure it is to have to talk to you nonsense and try to make sense out of it. Because in the Chan, as soon as you open your mouth, you're wrong. So what can we do? But anyway, it's fun for me, so I talk about casual things. Looking back, I see so many of you that I've known for quite a while. Even some of you have been here since I first came to San Jose. It's scary. And some new ones as well. So it's nice to see all of you, of course. I look at why, and I just wonder, maybe you could help me, since, for example, Tan Phong here is from the Vietnamese system. He went through many systems, and he went to Master YongHua system, Chinese Mahayana, I call it. Now he's over here and so forth. Who knows where it's going to be next? But the point being that I keep on stressing that we are like American Chan compared to Chinese Chan, okay? And I wonder if you agree with that or not. Is there a difference? American Chan versus Chinese Chan? Yeah, which one is better? Yes? What's the difference? Chinese China, you know, is first imported from China by Master YongHua, via Master YongHua. He brought here Mahayana, Chinese Mahayana, and he taught Chinese Chan, okay? And now I feel this is no longer the same thing. It should be called American Chan. The bones is still the same. The substance is still the same. But the method and the phases are different, okay? For example, Chinese Chan primarily is Chinese. Look at you. You are yellow, you white, you know, weird. Okay, so clearly American Chan has no identity. It's just like we are mixed. We mixed, we confused, we're not sure who we are. Thank you very much. And so what is a major difference? Chinese system is a one-star system, meaning that Master YongHua came and he became very famous, and he drew a lot of people, he drew a lot of support, especially from Chinese, Asian people, the system, because in the Chinese, Asian Buddhism or Chan system, they support the stars. So Master YongHua is a great Chan master, so therefore he got a lot of support from the Chinese Asians in particular. Okay, I remember when he was dead already, and one of his older disciples, longtime disciples, was helping me, was teaching me Chinese and helping me around a little bit. And he got to talking to me and said, you know, I finally sold my family business. I mean, they have a rich family. So part of my business, so I finally am able to fulfill my promise to him. I said, what promise did you make? He said, I promised him that I would sell my business and give him a check for $2 million. So he did that. And I look at him looking back and say, well, this guy, these Chinese people, the rich, they give a lot of money because they don't cultivate. The Chinese system, they're very smart. They know that They understand the importance of blessings. And therefore, in the Chinese culture, you're supposed to support the triple jewel. And when they have money, 2 million to this guy, I'm sure is not a whole lot. But that's what they do. So I remember hearing stories like that from my YongHua disciples. He got a lot of support from the Chinese, from the Asians, and so forth, because that's how they plan their blessings. They find the star Dharma masters, the star Chan masters, and invest in their future lives by supporting them, by making donations, by giving them temples and properties and so forth. In America, we don't have such a system, okay? Because here we need to sort of prove ourselves. Says, what did you do for me? Instead of you being famous, and so forth, what did you do? How can I benefit from you? So in our system is not the same. As a result, it suits me just fine. I'm happier being poor because I wouldn't know what to do with all those $1 million. Besides buying a red car, what else I'm going to do? Okay, and so you see, so the first difference is that instead of one star, okay, the Chinese system, Master Sheho, he demonstrated himself to be a real superstar, mega star. And then he designated a second guy, second patriarch, who is supposed to be a star as well, star system, okay? And if the star does not deliver, okay, then it doesn't quite work, okay? So that's why I thought that maybe because I watched the second patriarch and said, what is this guy doing? Okay, and so I watched it and I said, well, if this keeps up, Chan is going to die. Because I watched how Master YongHua taught Chan versus the second generation, his disciples, how they taught Chan. So I said, if this keeps up, Chinese system is going to die because it's useless to us. Because the fact is that, to me personally, I'm a victim because I went to the system, I said, what's in it for me? Why do I need to spend time meditating if it doesn't do much for me? So I decided our style will be different. We call it American Chan because it's not a one-star system. It's about multiple superstar system. The stars are you, not about me at all, okay? And I'm very proud of the fact that over the last 16 years plus, we're quietly been practicing together, and we still are poor as hell, okay? But we're able to do a lot more because many of you progress, made big tremendous progress, and you felt like, well, wait a minute, this is kind of a cool system where our purpose is to help you, to train you, to become better people, improve your lives. And that's it. That's the only reason. So you, the stars are you. You become better husbands, better wives, better lawyers, better doctors, better, okay? Better housewives, okay? And so you are the one who making a difference in your small spheres of influence, okay? And that's and that's what I've been watching, I've been seeing, and it makes me happy. It's because of the fact that a few of you came back and said, this is kind of cool, that what we're doing is to help others improve just like you did, and enhance the qualities of life like you did, okay? So now you, without being asked, you decided to help out and spread the words. So I'm hoping that for this next phase of American Chan is that you share more you share your personal experience, what you got out of it, and in your own ways, whether you yellow face or white faces or whatever, share your experiences. Where are you from? What you do, okay? And what you got out of it. So that the important is that instead of, spreading the word about me, okay? It's about you, what you got out of it and how you benefited from the system, from the Chan, American Chan training system. And that will help encourage my sanghas, our monks and nuns, because they're seeing that that where we have right now is that we have tiers of teachers. There are students of mine who are helping at the entry levels and the intermediate level, more advanced level, and I am ready to retire because you're doing so well that you don't need me anymore. Cool? I will get my red car and disappear into the sunset to the Bahamas. Okay? So that the stars are you. Okay? I'm just a distant memory. Yeah. That you get sentimental about. Hopefully some of you tears come in your eyes. Oh, Master was so nice to me. Now he's in Bahamas. That's not bother him anymore. How's that? Deal? YouTube question. Go ahead.
From Snow Wu. Hello, Master. Yesterday you said 随缘不变，不变随缘. Can you please elaborate it a bit more? Does it mean I don't need to try hard to pursue my goals or try to make good decisions, but let things come to me?
Not quite. You remember I told you yesterday too that I was a control freak. So I got here where we are today because I was a control freak. Let's face it. Okay? There's no denying I was a control freak. I'm less a control freak nowadays, I like to think. But we got what we are because of who we are. And so to say that when I said 随缘不变，不变随缘 is what the Chinese sages taught us. Okay? And I found it to be true. Very, very true. 随缘不变，不变随缘. It applies to all levels. All of us. I like to give the example of Master YongHua. He came to our country, United States, from Hong Kong, from China, and he had no support, didn't know anyone. So what did he do? He patiently meditated for 6 years in Chinatown, in an obscure basement somewhere in Chinatown. And he waited and waited for 6 years. He talked to old women who would give him a little vegetables. Say, "Oh, you're a monk, right? Okay, I'm supposed to give you offerings based on my culture. Here's some Chinese vegetables. Go and cook yourself a good meal. You hear?" And that's how he started for 6 years. And then he started teaching. Okay, and then so he didn't start by saying, I'm going to advertise. I'm going to stand here in a street corner with a bullhorn and talk about Buddhism, preach about Buddhism and so forth. Or maybe, was fashionable back then, hire a few people who hit the drums and bells and you dance around the street corner. You remember those people? Hey, you're too young. Xiao Tai. To remember? Yeah, too young. In my era, we have a name called, what's the name of that group of bald people? Hare Krishna. Remember those? Huh? You're too young to remember that. Okay. They stand in street corners and they sing and dance and make a lot of noises and we are the good people, we're the happy people, let's dance. No, he didn't do that. He simply waited and waited until the support came. Remember for monks and nuns to be able to do what we do is because we get the proper support. Where we are today also is because many of you decided to step up without being asked. Because you said, this is a cool thing. It's a good thing to contribute to society, just to help out, to share a good thing. Okay? And so that's what Master Hsien waited. He waited for his disciples to arrive, because his early disciples were a lot of Caucasian people, okay, primarily Caucasian people, and it turns out that many of his disciples, early disciples, are actually his disciples in the past from China, from there all over, and they were reborn in this country here in America. So they came of age and they came and practiced with him, practiced under him. So for him to start 6 years earlier would not be very helpful. So that's what is meant by 随缘不变, meaning that that you wait. Doesn't matter who you are. You have to be patient and wait until the conditions are appropriate for you to do what you're supposed to do. You cannot force issues. Okay? That's called wisdom. 随缘不变. Okay? Meaning that you look at the conditions first. Are they favorable? Okay? So look at him. He says, if I go and start, with the bullhorn, how am I different as far as the Americans are concerned? To look at me and say, I'm just making a lot of noise, and then no one understands what I'm talking about. Whereas my neighbor in the next street corner is dancing and singing, and they draw a much bigger crowd. And besides, I cannot speak English. Okay? I'm here to speak the Americans, and yet I cannot speak English. So I better wait until some of my disciples who are very fluent in English come, I will teach them Chinese. Okay? And so forth. You see? That's called 随缘. You wait for the conditions. 不变, meaning that you don't compromise your value system. You don't forget who you are, what you're supposed to do. Okay? 随缘 is wait. Okay? Until it's ideal. 不变, you don't forget about it. Okay? You don't change. Okay? And what about 不变随缘? 不变随缘, I like to explain it in terms of once you enlighten, okay? 不变 means that your substance will never change, okay? And so that's what is meant by 不变, okay? You won't change anymore. Once you have the substance of enlightenment, okay, you become enlightened, your Buddha nature comes to the fore. That will never change. Never, ever. Okay? So that's why becoming enlightened is such a big deal for all of us. Go for enlightenment, because it's the longest lasting, the most rewarding, the most significant achievement you can have. Okay? Besides loving your wife. Not funny? Okay, never mind. Okay, so that's why you 不变. You don't change. You don't change anymore. And therefore, because you don't change and you have the wisdom, that's why you can afford to accord with conditions. Meaning that now these beings can do a lot more. Okay, so that's what it is. You first start, as we all cultivate, we need to learn to 随缘, 不变. And then once you reach your enlightenment level, your potential, your full potential, then you can then 不变, and yet you can 随缘. You're going to accord with conditions. Okay, sorry folks, those of you who don't understand Chinese, 随缘 meaning to accord with conditions, 不变 is not change. So that's a Chinese saying, 随缘, accord with conditions, 不变, but don't change. Karma, 不变随缘. You reverse the order, so now you don't change, and yet you accord with conditions. The don't change, the second part of the phrase, refers to the fact that when you become enlightened, your nature doesn't change anymore. And that's how you can easily accord with conditions. Okay? Something to really look forward to. I hope it helps. Okay? So that's for Snow Wu. When she asked about Xue Yuan Wu Bin, is that no, you're supposed to care. You're supposed to try your best, and yet at this current stage of your practice, a spiritual practice, you need to learn to pay attention to conditions. For example, you need to accord with conditions, meaning that depending on each of you, you need to accord, to not force the issue. For example, your family is against it, then you need to be, more flexible and be patiently wait until they see, that you improve as a person, even though you come only occasionally and you practice quietly in your own corners of the house and so forth, and you become more patient, become a better person, more kind, more loving, more compassionate, and they benefit from that, then eventually they see that, oh yeah, your spiritual practice is beneficial to them. Okay? Now, then you can then be more obvious, more visible, and say, okay, now my time is, I insist on a spiritual life, because you see, it benefits you. I want to go to the temple. I want to practice. I want to continue to be a better person. You see, so you wait until results are more convincing to your family and to your friends. And that's how you say, okay, now you put a foot down and say, from my whole experience for the last few years, all this time, I realized that the spiritual life is a significant part of life. We cannot afford to ignore it. And therefore, I ask for your understanding, your support in allowing me to go to the temple, allowing me to do my spiritual, to invest in my spiritual life. Okay? So you patiently wait. Yes? Okay? You don't force the issue. You butt heads too soon, it's not helpful. Okay? It causes problems. That's why you patiently wait. Okay? So you don't need to. You need to be more patient and wait for the right time. Okay. And how do you facilitate it? You facilitate it by not forcing the issue, not butting heads with people and have your way, but quietly wait. And while you're waiting, wait until the conditions ripen, the conditions more favorable, and while waiting, what you do is that part of Chan training is to help you invest in creating more blessings. Okay, so you don't necessarily are able to officially practice, but you can help your own spiritual practice by creating more blessings, by helping out, by whatever, quietly. All right? So that's 随缘不变. You accord with conditions and don't forget about your goal. Okay? What's important in life. Just because they don't understand doesn't mean that we have to force the issue and insist on that. Okay? But once your family and your friends and your acquaintances realize that they benefit from your progress, from your spiritual practice, then it's easier for you to elaborate more, to explain more, to enlist more of their support. That's why you have to be patient. When you butt heads with them too soon, it creates resentment, it creates oppression, and suppression is never helpful in the long haul. People resent it, and it's not good. Okay, You have to be patiently wait. Okay. All right. Okay. So going back to to the American Chan, you see again we based on the same value system. We still do 随缘不变, meaning accord with conditions and don't change. Okay. But however, we do it differently. Our goals are slightly different. My goals, our goals are to help you improve, to turn you into stars in your own circles, in your own environment, your own domains. Okay, it's not about us at all. I'm very proud of that fact because I look at the Chinese system. They still go for second patriarch or whatever. And unless the second patriarch delivers, if he doesn't deliver, that system crumbles. Whereas in our system, American system, it's you who are the stars. You who do the videos, you do the testimonials, and say, you know, I got good stuff out of this, and so can you. Okay, and so that you don't need me at all. You can be your true ungrateful self. Yes, is there a question here? Orange?
Thank you, Master. I'd like to share some personal experience about my cultivating. Over the past few months, my husband had been so anxiety to find a new job, and I got affected at the beginning. I still remember I met Master in DTD. Master just back from the Korea. I told Master my situation, and Master smiled and told me, "Don't worry, he will get a job. He will get a job eventually." So
it was a sales pitch. Don't believe everything I tell you.
Okay. At that time, I was feeling I got blessed. So now my husband have a good job offer. So
Wonderful.
Yeah, thank you, Master.
Now when companies are retrenching, he's getting a new job.
Yeah, there's another wonderful part. He said thank you to me a lot of time.
What did you do? That he thanked you.
Yeah, looking back, I didn't do anything very special.
I remember when I look at you and say, my husband, he doesn't understand, he oppresses me. Okay? You upset, you fought him constantly. And you couldn't express that in English. Your English is so much smoother now. You know?
Thank you.
Okay. But before, you said, I don't know how to say it, but my husband, I'm not happy.
Yeah, I was. He said I gave him a lot of encouragement and help, but I don't remember I did some special things. So now I feel I got a positive feedback about my cultivation. I think I changed, and he feels that. So both of us benefit from my cultivation, I think, yeah.
Exactly, and thank you for pointing it out. When we practice, we don't try to convert our spouses, our friends, and our acquaintances and so forth. We simply improve ourselves, okay? And just the fact that because you become a better person, they benefit from it. You don't need to convert them. You don't need to change them, make them become Buddhists or anything such nonsense. Just be a better person.
Yeah,
That's all.
I think he won't admit my changes from my cultivation now, but
Never.
I have no complaint about that. I just do my things and wait.
I would never admit it either.
Thank you so
That's
much,
how you
Master.
can quickly lose control of your wife. Now you have an earful from her constantly. You should be cultivating too, because. Yes, absolutely. Wonderful. That's a good story right there. Okay? I think it's a real story. from a Chinese person who benefit from American child. Yeah, wonderful. Please share with us your experience. This is so cool. You remember how much you struggle? I remember you coming to the temple and you talk about it and your tears came to your eyes. You were so upset at a few times. And now look at her. She's as cool as a cucumber. All right, Wei Mountain.
Oh, hi, Master. It's you know who. Sometimes I'm known as Sister Victorina, but whatever. I just wanted to mention, I think my husband might be improving. Of course, there's no way that I could ever talk about Mahayana or meditation or whatever, but I think because I'm able to be more patient with him, it helps. I think my cultivation helps him.
Absolutely. Let me tell you about little part of the dynamics I observe as well. That is, please stop trying to change people. You have to accept them. American style, we accept them who they are. Okay? Absolutely. Fundamentally, we don't try to change our husbands. Please leave us alone. We're happy, thank you, very happy, okay, already, okay. We have our beer, we have our football games and baseball caps and so forth, and some of our friends. We work hard enough all week to support you, so please spare us on your spiritual mumbo jumbo, okay? The point, the trick is that be quiet about it. Don't make a big fuss about it. Don't be so bossy, okay? So nagging, I want you to become Buddhist, I want you to be, support me more, appreciate me more. No, quietly practice, okay? And you become a better person, and guess what? They will notice it. Your spouses will notice it. And you know what? And this is where the ball's on their court, the pressure's on them. They have to ask themselves, what kind of person am I? My spouse is better. And in America, okay, in our culture, okay, the value system is that, what is it I'm doing to deserve this? It's not like in the Asian system where it's I'm the man of the family, so I'm the king, okay? No, here in the country, in this country, in the 21st century, we all have to constantly ask ourselves, what did I do to continue to deserve this? To continue to receive all these great things that my spouse, my loved one is giving me? Seriously, you don't ask yourself that question, your marriage is in trouble. You will not be able to keep up with your wife, your husband, because each one of us is growing in their own ways. Yes, we cannot stop them. They get older, they get wiser, and they learn more, and they gain some experiences. And in order for us to stay with them, you need to keep up with them. That's natural in our cultures. Agree? It's a constant pressure on our own spouses. So the point here is that realize that system where your boyfriend, girlfriend, your partner, your spouses they see the changes in you, and if they're worthy individuals, they naturally will decide to improve themselves. You don't need to change them at all. Let them decide to change for themselves. Give them time, give them room. They see for themselves. And they one day, most of them will decide to change themselves, change their ways. Okay? And that's what we do. You patiently wait. Okay? Don't force the issue. Because the more they like you, the more they appreciate you, the more, naturally, in our cultures, in our times, they would say, I will rise to the occasion too and make myself worthy of this. Yes. So that when I walk with my wife to the supermarket, she's proud to be seen with me. Yes? Okay, so the American thing is that, again, the emphasis that I want you, monks and nuns, to understand, all of us, you to understand that the emphasis is on you, on helping others improve. It's not about us at all. We don't matter because, look, after Master YongHua is gone, what's left? Just some names, okay? So it's just a name, some memories, and to me it's sad because I keep on hearing about how people say, "Oh, I love my master so much." What I want to see is that people to say, "I'm a better person. I did more. I created this structure, this monument, that I contributed to the world. I helped my husband become a better person. I helped my son have a better, brighter future, better prepared for these times, these challenging times." Okay? That's what I'd rather hear. Instead of people say, "Oh, I love my master. He's such a great man," so forth. It's nonsense. Reminiscence is for losers. Okay? Yes, was there a question? Yeah. Okay, go ahead, yeah.
Thank you, Master. I got a question myself for a long time. I don't know. It's maybe because I'm too intellectual, too much scientist. The question is, one day I sit meditate and I see Grandmaster. And then suddenly, your image jump in. And then after that, the tear is come out from my eye. And I still say, what is it about? And I touch it. It's real. It's true. The tears come out from my eye. So, Master, please help me. I'm growing man, but still like crying like a baby. Is it something wrong with me?
Yeah. As Arnold puts it, you're a girly man. Girly man cries. Anything else that you're unclear about? I'm crying too. Well, to put it very briefly, Master YongHua is a rather cunning man, from my own experience. Nothing he does is haphazard. He only came to me 5 times. That's it, no more. Now I think he stops coming because I started criticizing him. Start denouncing Chinese system versus Americans. He said, "Wait a minute, you learn from me. What are you talking about?" So that's why he stops coming. Okay, maybe that's why. So he came to you because I think he has a reason. Okay, I can't speak for him, but my interpretation is that he only came to my disciples for 2 reasons. Number 1, to relay a message to me indirectly, meaning that in some cases I heard in the past where some of my disciples got something very significant, did something right, so he came to them and said, and reinforced it, and then so that helped me understand that I should continue to do that. Okay, so the way I train those people is correct. Okay, so that's how he relate to me, reinforce that, because remember, I can't talk to him anymore, and I refuse to talk to him. Since he doesn't talk to me, I'm not going to ask him. I'm playing hard to get now, see? And so that's how he still helping me indirectly by coming to my disciples and praising them or encouraging them and helping them, and then they in turn, they're curious, they would call, would relate their dreams and their visions to me and say, that's why, okay? The thing I did for that person is correct, okay? So help me reinforce my teaching method, okay? That's one way, one thing I noticed in the past. And the other reason is to encourage you, not me anymore. Damn it. I'm the most important person. See, this is why I say American systemic is I'm no longer the star. You are. Okay? So invariably he came to quite a few of you and, and whatever, only because to encourage you to continue what you're doing. He cares. Because what you're doing is actually helping his Chinese Mahayana more than I like to admit. Because now I call it American Mahayana. So, you see, his underhanded way said, I don't want you to get a big head because it's whatever that guy called American Mahayana, actually it's Chinese Mahayana, damn it. Okay? So, he says, you keep doing what you're doing, it's actually you're helping Chinese Mahayana, not his American Mahayana. He's competing with me. Huh? You buy that? That's what's happening. I realize that. But I'm undaunted. I'm still American Mahayana. It's not Chinese Mahayana. I don't care what he does to all of you. Okay? I made you. He only encourages you. Does it help? So I want you to know in all seriousness that he cares deeply, because you know why? He brought Mahayana from China to the U.S. So you know what? He's stuck. He now has to make sure that the second generation and third generation are in the right direction. So he has to help them people over there, encourage them. Those who are in the right direction, they get encouragement. Those of you in the right direction here in the American system also are encouraged to continue to go in the right directions. Okay? That's his job. Okay? I hope it helps. So
thank you, Master.
It's not uncommon that quite a few of you, have visions of him, have dreams of him, and so forth. Yeah. Doesn't scare me. I don't feel any competition. He's dead. What do I care? Okay? So it's kind of cool. You think about it, he really cares. He cares because with the same goal. Mahayana is in you. It's not about, it's not temples, books, whatever. It's nothing. I must maintain with you that American Mahayana is in each and every one of you. Okay? And that's why you see, we never care for temples, never care for statues and so forth. Until recently, when we teach Chan, meditation, who cares? Who cares about statues? Who cares about temples? Look at how ugly this thing here is. When I first got it, I said, 3 columns in the middle of my Buddha hall? Get rid of them. And then until my structural engineer says, oh, you can get rid of it. It's 3,000 a piece. I say, no, on 5,000 a piece. I say what? I don't have 5,000 to throw away just to get rid of a column. Let's leave it there alone. And let's call this Chan temple, no more, not a Chan center, not even a temple. Okay? So we're cheap, okay? We're poor, we're cheap. That's who we are. But with San Francisco now, we're starting to teach Pure Land Buddhism, so we change our venues a little bit. We are changing approach a little bit. Now we invest in statues and nonsense, stuff like that, you know. But it's necessary. Pure Land is different from Chan. Chan is, we go low-key, you don't want people, you don't want to draw attention to yourself, okay? But Pure Land is that you need the splendor, because the Pure Land is splendid, it is incredible. One look at the Pure Land, one look at Amitabha Buddha, and you say, wow, I want to be like you, I want to be there, I want to go there. And that's speaks volumes about what it's about. Whereas in Chan, we're supposed to be low-key, supposed to be unnoticed, you know, nothing special. That's what Chan is, okay? You're not supposed to pay attention to us. Whereas Pure Land, you're supposed to be impressed. So that's why the approach is slightly different. All right? All right. What else is there about American Chan that I forgot? There's so much. I was sitting there and said, wow, there's so much I can talk about today. And as soon as he started asking questions, I forgot. Anyone would like to say? Yes, spy number 3.
Emitofuo Master. I'm very grateful for Master YongHua brought Mahayana Buddhism to America, and I'm also very grateful for you, Master, to help us to walk on the path of Mahayana Buddhism. Before I meet the Master, I follow so-called Chinese Mahayana. I went to CCTV and tried to practice, follow Master YongHua's teaching. But I think maybe because of my shallow root, so the teaching from Master YongHua sounds very simple and straight, but it's almost impossible for us to follow. Just a minor thing that just sit on a cross leg, it took me several years to try to do that, and it go nowhere. And I try to attend every year at the winter time. I try to go to CCTV and attend the Chanchi. The participants, you can count on the finger. There's only a few of us, maybe 2-3 lay people and another 10 monks. And among the millions Buddhist followers to CCP all around the world, the people who practice Chan in CCTV from the men's side is about 10 people. And that says that is show a little bit that even though you know, you have the theory behind you, you have the encouragement from Master YongHua, you saw what he did, but it's impossible to practice. It's so difficult. And I think we are very blessed. So Master YongHua came out of nowhere and try to help us to walk on that path and handholding our Buddhist follower to practice. The theory is one side, but because of our karma, we really need a good Node advisor to encourage us and help us to walk on the path. And I'm really, really appreciate your help, Master. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Way Mountain question.
Thank you, Master. In my experience, American Chan has been the best way for me to learn about all sorts of Vietnamese and Chinese vegetables. They're so delicious and smell so good. As an American, I never encountered them at McDonald's or Burger King. And it's taught me a lot about how to eat healthy and what a vegetarian and vegan lifestyle is. It doesn't have to be so bland and boring. And the burgers are especially delicious. And I'm very appreciative of that. Of course, I'm only half joking. Because really, as an American experiencing and trying something new, the food is so essential to cultivation. And it's really opened up my eyes and my taste buds to trying new things and being willing to endure the leg pains, because there's wonderful, delicious food at the end of it.
So American. Yes, go ahead, Vicky.
Oh, Master, I don't know if I ever told you that when I first came to practice with you, I had a big problem, as you know, about my job that you helped me with tremendously because of using Chan. But I had another problem that I don't know if I told you about, but I was really worried about my marriage. I really was. I mean, at that time, I'd already been married for about 30 years. And in as much as I really love my husband, I just could not figure out how the heck was I going to stay married.
What?
Because it was
After
because
30
it was so
years?
difficult.
It's kind of late, isn't it?
Well, you know, Asians, we endure. So I wasn't too sure how was this going to work. And honestly, you taught me something that helped us tremendously.
I did.
And you, of all people, I know, you did. You taught me
a divorcee.
something. I know, that's what I mean. You taught
a one-time loser.
But you said something that really helped. You said, you know, you gotta admit, you're gonna have to say, you're just gonna have to take the blame and say, I'm sorry, I did something wrong. When you feel that you're always right and they're always wrong, you know, or whatever husbands and wives do, we get in this pattern. And it's a pattern you just don't know how to break out of. You just don't. You know, it's almost like our dynamic is a certain way. And it took a long time. And then finally you said, you know, why don't you try this? You just kind of were so, not, you know, kind of gentle about suggesting it. You know, sometimes just do it. Just say it once in a while. Just, you know, and it took me a while. I couldn't do it right away. It took me about a month. And then finally something came up. We got in an argument, and I just said, well, okay, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. You know, it's my fault. That's what I said. I'm sorry, it's my fault. Oh,
and
my
you
God.
didn't mean it, right?
Well,
the truth is you didn't mean it at all. You just
I
like a
didn't
ploy.
really mean it. honestly, but I thought, Master said it, so why not try it?
Yeah,
Why
Master
not-
told me
why
to
don't I
lie.
just-
Might as well lie.
But it hurt, but it helped. It helped because
You're
I
not
had to do
helping.
something. I had to do something, honestly, Master. I had to do something because we just had been so ingrained in a certain pattern of the way we always talk to each other. And finally, I changed it by just trying out something you said, which is, I'm sorry, which is a biggie, and then it's my fault. Changed the dynamic completely. And we stopped. We stopped arguing, and it was quiet. And then my husband said, "Oh no, it's my fault."
It worked.
But
God.
it was a big game changer.
He's fast, isn't he? Wow, I'm
Yeah.
impressed. The guy is fast.
Yeah.
He
yeah,
lied
but-
just as much as well.
But so it really has helped our relationship. Thank you, Master.
This changed my relationship with him. I have a lot more respect for him. And he could lie on the fly just like that. Impressive. But thank you for sharing with us. Okay. Remember, when you guys share in the future, choose the positive things, not. Yes, go ahead.
Emitofuo Master, I need to add this also. I think I'm also very grateful for our Sangha here at the temple. They look very normal, casual, but they are very, very strong. I don't think that we can find any hardcore, hard cultivated Sangha around the world like we have here in our Buddhism, because you want to sit, and they're going to sit with you until you pass out. You want to cultivate, they're willing to cultivate with you. And they eat only 1 meal a day. They sit, sleep. It sounds very casual, but it's impossible for us to do. And I just have a really, really respect to our Sangha people here.
This cannot be further from the truth. If you hear them talk about their lifestyles right now, these monks and nuns, you know what they say? They say, "Master, make me work all day. I have no time to cultivate. I don't have time to meditate. Meditation is for the students, for the lay people, not for the monks." Am I correct? So, yes, Orange.
Thank you, Master. I want to add some detail about how I helped my husband. I think we will review the phone interview from he got and rehearsal his interview questions. Something like that. Any question he asked me, I will answer. But there's one thing I want to share with my husband is I feel I process faster than him, and even I feel I'm more logical than him. I hope it's not
a
my.
fact. It's a fact. Yes.
Yeah, I hope it's not my illusion. Yeah, that's all. Thank you, Master. If there are some knowledge and experience I don't have, I will ask for help. Like ask for help from Chun and Chengdu, some venerable from the temple.
Yeah. So
thank you,
clearly, the composition package that they give him is an indication, clear indication they're impressed of his potential. Okay, of his interview performance and then his potential. So, you guys did something right. Okay. Anyway, and let's do something right as well today. Enough of all this mushy stuff. Can we go have lunch? Thank you all for coming.